Is Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor with the IRS. Welcome to my YouTube station. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the offer and compromise and what the word total equity means. I worked at IRS for 10 years. I was a revenue officer. I was a teaching instructor with IRS, and I taught the offer and compromise program. I used to accept them and deny them. You know, there's a lot of people on YouTube saying they're offer and compromise experts. Well, I worked at IRS and used to accept them and deny them, so you're not going to have any more than an expert myself. Peter Salinger of my office has worked over 3,500 offers and compromises, an offer and compromise supervisor at Internal Revenue Service. We are some of the most renowned experts in offers and compromise, so you need to listen what we have to say. Anyway, welcome to my channel. I have about 1,500 viewers, about 7,500 subscribers, so we try to get good, truthful information to you out. I have a whole team of former agents on staff. You can go to my website at 777irs.com and you can take a look at them and all the news interviews I've been on. Anyway, there's been some mystery about the offer and compromise and there's two parts to the offer and compromise. Let me just tell you what they are. There is, what are your assets, okay? What are the value of your assets? And then what is the value, okay, of your income and your necessary expenses? There's two parts to the offer. IRS wants to know what your assets are. IRS wants to know what your income is, and they want to know what expenses you have. And there's a formula that IRS has a work out to figure out what your offer is. Very simple formula. By the way, you can go to IRS pre-qualifier tool and find out if you qualify. When it says IRS wants your total equity and all your assets, I want to clarify this, that it means all your total equity, whether you can borrow against it or not. A lot of people have called me and said, well, I can't borrow against my home. What does that mean? Does that mean IRS is only going to take what I can borrow against? No. IRS wants your full equity value in your home. That's it. They're going to look at realtor.com or Zillow, or they'll look at the tax rolls and they'll come up with a value of your home. Now, that does not necessarily mean that's right. If you want to find a way to reduce that equity in your home, if we're talking about your home, and a contractor comes out and says, hey, you have about $50,000 worth of damage, you can submit your offer and compromise with a less figure for your equity in your home. IRS looks to that. Most people, when they do offers, they look straight to that. So make sure that if you have defects in your house, like a roof or a crack in a structure, you take that out of the fair market value. IRS's formula is they only want 20% of that value. Well, if there's another $50,000 for a roof and some more structure damage, you can kind of reduce that so your offer and compromise isn't so high. If you've got a pension plan, just a couple of tricks I'm trying to tell you. If you have a pension plan, make sure you calculate what you're giving the IRS, the tax, and the estimate payment plus the penalty. So if you're going to pick up a 28% tax for the taking of the IRA or the pension, and you're going to hit with a 10% penalty, decrease that equity in that pension or IRA that much. Remember, IRS can go after anything they want. When you put a value on your financial statement, IRS wants that whole value as a base. So if you have, say, equity in your home and your pension and your IRA, and you have, say, $200,000 in that, IRS isn't going to take any less than $200,000 in that. So anyway, those are just some kind of tips to go ahead and understand what the equity means and what the value of your pension and IRA is. IRS wants full value, but remember, there's ways to reduce them by making sure you pay the tax and paying the tax and the penalty out of the IRA portion if you have to give that to IRS. And you can decrease the equity in your home if you have a contractor saying it's not worth as much. There's a whole bunch of tricks you can work for the offer and compromise. people like me just aren't going to give away all the secret sauce, but they are there. Anyway, give me a subscription if you would. At least you picked up a good couple tips today. Thank you.